who are going to present their research to you in 3 minutes or less, which is no small feat. I want to talk also a little bit about the preparation process that they've been through. So we started this process in the fall, and they've been to several workshops to hone their skills. And we've had judges, or not judges, but coaches who have been so helpful along the way. One of my favorite parts of this competition is that we have our previous competitors come out and actually help coach the competitors from this year, which is just a really great part of this competition, in my opinion. So some of the coaches who came out, Alexia Martinez, who is actually our first Grad Slam winner, our first annual Grad Slam winner. Jocelyn Monhay, who I believe is here in the audience. So yay, Jocelyn. We also had from the Speaking Center, Olayinka Owasini and Monica Ibanez. And then from the Writing Center, Nathan Jones and Katie Chavez. And also, again, from the Speaking Center and Communication Studies, Julie Taylor. So thank you so much to all of our coaches. We couldn't do this without them. They're amazing. So I'm Caroline Vickers. I'm Dean of Graduate Studies for those of you who don't know me. And it's really been my pleasure to work with these students. And I want to also thank Megan Canali, who has just been amazing and helping to prepare for the Grad Slam. And Juan Salcedo, who's both a competitor and who has been so helpful in helping us prepare for this event as a student assistant in graduate studies. So yeah, so I love this event as well because we really get to focus on the incredible research that our graduate students do here at CSUSB. So I'm so glad that we can come together again around this event. So I'd like to take the chance now to introduce our judges. So thank you, judges, for being here. And I'm actually going to ask them to turn around and sort of introduce themselves so that you can see who they are.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lauren McGeehan, and I'm from UC Riverside. I work in the graduate division, and I am the director of academic preparation, recruitment, and outreach. And I'm so glad to be here with my fellow judges.
Hello, thanks for being here today. My name is Scott Smith. I work for San Bernardino Unified School District. I'm a Cal State alumni and also a Hall of Famer. I'm just really excited to see the young Coyotes up on stage today and see what they have to offer. And thanks for being here.
Hi, everyone. My name is Darnisha Beeler. I am a community manager for JP Morgan Chase. And what I do for the bank, I actually help bridge the gap between the bank and our community by providing financial education and resources to our community members.
Thank you so much, judges, for being here. We're so happy to have you. Okay, well, I think we should get this show on the road. So before we get started, I'd like to introduce our illustrious MC. So we have here Ralph Figueroa. He's a U.S. Army veteran and a graduate student in the CSUSB Rehabilitation Counseling Master's Program. At the CSUSB Veteran Success Center, Ralph works as a master-level paraprofessional specializing in veterans resources and benefits advising. Ralph is a dedicated student leader in the veteran community, serving as president of the CSUSB Student Veterans Organization since fall 2022. In January 2025, Ralph was named 2024 Student Veteran of the Year by the Student Veterans of America. Since starting at CSUSB in fall 2022, Ralph, who is on track to graduate in 2025, has secured thousands of dollars in equipment from donors for students, such as laptops and computers, and thousands of dollars from donors and food supplies to stock the Veteran Success Center pantry. But that's not all. Ralph is also an internationally known stand-up comedian, known for his sharp humor and engaging storytelling. In fact, he's toured bases all over the world, entertaining service members. Thank you, Ralph, for serving as our MC.
Come on, let's keep it going for Dr. Vickers here, everybody. Let her hear it. Let her hear it. Okay, so we're going to need some energy tonight because we've got a bunch of students here, a bunch of grad students and a doctoral student that have been working their butts off. So we're going to need some good energy tonight. You guys can do that for me tonight? I seem kind of fake, to be honest. I think you guys could do a little bit better. Are we ready to have a good time tonight? Make some noise. There we go. We need to hype them up. We need to get them ready. So they've been working tirelessly. This whole group, they've been rehearsing. They've got their research down. They're doing some amazing things. Cal State San Bernardino, you know, I know we're a little biased because we're from here. This is our university. This is our school. This is where we work for a lot of you. But this is our home, you know. And so these students right here have done so much. I've met so many of them over the last couple of days. Some of them I've known for almost a year. And so they're going to come out here. They're going to do their best. I want you guys to cheer them up and just listen to what they're saying. They're going to talk about some really interesting stuff that they've been working on. They're very passionate about. So we're going to share that energy with them, right? We're going to share that energy with them? All right. I'm going to tell you something. Those judges, you guys got some hard work for you guys today because all of them here, they're all going to be worthy of it. So you guys are going to have a tough decision. We're also going to have a couple minutes in between. We're going to sit down and we're going to get to know these the competitors here tonight. So with that being said, Cal State San Bernardino, are you guys ready? Let's hear it, Cal State San Bernardino. Are you guys ready? All right, let's get this Grad Slam going. Our first person coming up to the stage is Michelle Aguiar. Come on, Michelle. Give her a round of applause. Michelle is a communication studies and her title, Reluctant Confidants, the Impact of Disclosure and Boundary Dissolution of Adult Children of Latino-Immigrant Parents. And Michelle, take it away.
Mic check. Mic check. We're good. I want you all to picture your childhood. One day you're playing outside carefree, and the next you're translating legal documents from the mail to your parents. And now for those of us first-generation kids with Latino immigrant parents, this isn't just helping. It's called cultural brokering, balancing two worlds at once and trying to take responsibilities beyond your years. And so for these children, they're taking on these responsibilities beyond their years, and it likely happens because Latino immigrants face significant challenges when they come to this country, like social segregation and limited access to resources. And so as a result, their first-generation American children become essential to navigating these challenges. But sometimes these cultural brokering tasks kind of take a step into a more emotional and personal territory, because the same trust that makes these children the first to be interpreters for their family also makes them the first to hear of their parents' struggles. Struggles like parental infidelity, marital issues, addiction, divorce, job loss. These are difficult things to talk about among adults, let alone children. And so what happens there is that when Latino immigrant parents disclose family secrets or crises with their children, a unique problem emerges. They become reluctant confidants. This is somebody who doesn't actively seek the disclosure or consent to it. And so this is a unique problem that emerges, and it's severely underrepresented in research, and that's where my study comes in. So I'm using communication privacy management theory, which basically helps us understand how private information is shared and why crossing certain boundaries can impact relationships. So just as locking the doors of your home protects it from unwanted access, we do the same thing to protect our private information. So when Latino immigrant parents disclose these family secrets or crises to their children, what I wanted to see guided by this theory is how it impacts their relationships, their emotions, and their well-being. And with 18 million children in the US having at least one Latino immigrant parent, this is a significant population whose perspective is underrepresented in research. And so my study amplifies their perspectives and the emotional burdens that they're likely taking into adulthood. More importantly, my research helps validate a reality that often feels isolating. Of these 18 million children, I see myself in research like this, and my study gives them a voice, showing that this experience is not isolated, it is shared.
Wow, give Michelle a round of applause. Come on, Michelle, come and join me. That was really, really good. Great job, by the way.
Thank you.
So share with us. So what inspired you to do this kind of research?
So I've always been really interested in how communication is affected in family dynamics, and especially once I realized that people do research on these subjects, I found it so fascinating because it's things that likely happen all the time, but no one really talks about it. So I wanted to amplify that and show that this is something that a lot of us can relate to.
That's amazing. What you, like, so I saw the title when it said adult children. I was like, my wife would have been here. She would have called me an adult child. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so how did you come up with the title for your presentation?
It's really founded in this concept from communication privacy management theory, where it talks about reluctant confidant and how they didn't actively seek or consent to those disclosures. So I wanted to kind of emphasize that because the reluctant confidants, they're the adult children who didn't consent or receive these disclosures.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us about your program. How do you like your program here at Cal State San Bernardino?
This graduate program is amazing, and I couldn't have done it without the two people who are going after me, who are my absolute besties. And I see like my whole committee who is also like been navigating me while I've been writing this thesis. I even see my students in the audience, which is amazing. And so this is just such a tightly knit community that I absolutely love and I feel immersed in, and I couldn't imagine grad school without any of these people here.
Yeah, that's your support system, right?
Yeah.
So if you came here to support Michelle, let me see, stand up. I want to see you guys stand up real quick. Wow, look at that. Even one of the competitors, yeah, all across the room. How does that make you feel, Michelle?
Oh, it makes me want to cry, but I'm just a crybaby.
No, you did a fantastic job. You look so comfortable up there. Like your style, like your what made you choose these shoes right here?
I was thinking about wearing like boots, but I teach in my checkered Vans like every day, and these are the shoes that I live in. So this is what makes me like comfortable and like
This is you, it's signature, right?
yeah,
Kind of your thing.
yeah. This is
Well,
me.
everybody, let's give Michelle a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Fantastic job, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Fantastic, right? What I tell you, judges, man, that's number one. We're gonna keep going. So you guys ready for the next competitor? Make some noise. I don't know. I can't believe that. Are you guys ready? Let's give it up for Bristol Nevins, everybody. Give her a round of applause. Communication Studies, Contradictions in Policies and Practices, a case study and educational opportunities for transfer students. Bristol, take it away.
How many of you were a transfer student? Me too. Actually, at the time of the study, around 50% of California State University students were transfer students. And until recently at CSUSB, they were denied some key educational opportunities. Out of 23 CSUs, 16 have honors programs, but only 3 accepted transfer students explicitly. And honors programs happen to provide a national network of academic and research support. And to exclude half of our student population, especially those that are more often women and students of color, was something that I felt passionate about. On the one hand, the CSU website explicitly states that honors programs are for exceptional first-time freshmen. And on the other hand, the CSU mission states that CSUs should provide educational opportunities to students that haven't been able to experience them previously, and to support students in their academic endeavors. And so it would seem that there are a couple of contradictions here. My research is a case study on the explicit policies and implicit policies that are found surrounding educational opportunities for transfer students. And so for explicit policies, we have that honors programs are for exceptional first-time freshmen. And for implicit policies, we have those mission statements that CSU should serve as an educational center for their community. What's important to note when you study contradictions in higher education is that these are in between policies as they are written, implemented, or interpreted and practiced. And these contradictions happen between or across organizations such as the CSU system, CSUSB, and our honors program, as well as across people such as students and higher education personnel. And so we have a couple of contradictions that pop up and that we're looking to see how we can address and how we can best utilize them moving forward. And so fortunately at CSUSB, And within our community partners, it's very clear that these transfer students should have the same educational opportunities as other students in this area. And what's interesting is that our non-student participants tend to lean more into utilizing the CSU mission and CSUSB mission rather than that explicit statement that honors programs are for freshmen. And so this is a contradiction that we may, or this is a statement that we may have future contradictions develop from because people interpret mission statements differently. But what's clear is that at CSUSB, we all define the future, not just half of us. Thank you.
Keep that applause going for Bristol Nevins, everybody. Bristol, take a seat here. Fantastic job. Really good. Really great job. So, so tell us a little bit more about what inspired you to work on this research.
I was a transfer student, and I came from a community college honors program, and I really wanted to do it here. And at that time, we did not have the policies to kind of support that, and I low-key argued my way in because I'm very stubborn. And so it was something that I was really interested in why we didn't have that policy, because like from everything that I had heard is that this is the place that I could kind of experience those and get those opportunities and chances. And so it was a little bit out of spite and a little bit out of wanting to understand what led to that situation.
Interesting. So it really impacted you directly, which is what made you see that there's this gap in this research, or the necessity for research. So, and how's your program going? Tell us a little bit about your program.
Yeah, it's the same program as Michelle's. We are both in communications studies, and as she said, it's been awesome in that we have such a wide variety of faculty research interests that you're sure to find somebody who you most resonate with. And so I have my chair and some of my committee members here as well, and they've been really instrumental into helping me figure out like what I want to research and what I want to do. That I get to continue on in a PhD program in the fall. So it's been super awesome.
Wow. So you got, yeah, let's give her a round of applause. PhD, huh? That is fantastic. Don't worry about these ones. These are flip-floppers because they were rooting hardcore for Michelle. Now they're rooting hardcore for you. So I don't know what's going on with these guys. Or yeah, they're your people. Your people. No, but thank you for sharing such great insight, because this will eventually impact a lot more students, especially the transfer students that are coming to CSUSB. Once again, everybody, let's give a round of applause to Bristol Nevins, everybody. Congratulations. Ooh, telling you, ooh, you guys have a tough job. I don't envy you guys right now. So far, we've had 2 really great presentations. Are you guys ready for your third? All right, so we're going to do this. When I say grand, you say slam. Ready? Grand. There we go. There we go. We're going to go with the next one. Here we go. You ready? Are you guys ready? Let's go. Next one. Come to stage. Stephanie Alfonso. Let her hear it, everybody. Also, communication studies, community media coalitions, best practices support a healthy local news ecosystem. Stephanie, take it away.
Imagine waking up and all your local news sources are gone. No updates on city council decisions, school board meetings, or community emergencies. This information blackout is becoming a reality across America for multiple communities, where we're losing 2/3 of newspapers and creating news deserts where more folks are having one or no local news sources. The eye is a little bit different. We're facing a news mirage, which Corrigan says is an illusion for abundance of news, where they're actually publishing the same content. So when you're opening your local news app and seeing the same content every day, it's not just annoying, it's dangerous for democracy. Because when communities lack access to local news, misinformation runs rampant, folks lose civic engagement, and we see a loss in our communities. So what if I told you, though, that there was a solution hiding in plain sight? Community media coalitions, which my research studies. These CMCs, or community media coalitions, are where they unite media, community leaders, civic and educational institutions to all support our local news ecosystem. But how do we build them? Well, great question, because I interviewed 11 different leaders from 8 different coalitions who had and represent over 400 media partners across the nation to support different local communities. With that said, it resulted in a best practices guide, which came with 5 actionable solutions. 1, you want to have a democratic structure. 2, you want to make sure that you have a defined mission and vision. You want to build trust among your community and your partners. You want to remain neutral, impartial, and avoid pitfalls like competing with your partners for funding and or expanding too quickly. With that said, this guide is more than just academic research. It's a local blueprint for democracy. And hopefully our CMC in the IE will implement these practices and give coverage to our IE residents, and that's over 4.5 million people. So by fostering collaboration over competition, we're able to bring that quality journalism, and not just here, to communities nationwide. So communities that are better informed are more than just better informed. They're more resilient, they're more democratic, and they're more equitable. Thank you.
Let's keep it going for Stephanie Alfonso. Come and join us. I got to say, talk about your outfit. This is awesome right here. This is dope. Like, I just want to read your jacket and what's going on. What made you choose this? This is dope.
Thank you. Okay, so very intentional because 1, my project involves cats, which is very important to me, but also news, right? So I was like, why not just bring a little bit of both, make it a little exciting? And, I had to add the vest for a little something. So definitely had some fun with it.
That little something's working. It's pretty awesome, right? Let's give a round of applause for that outfit. You look slick. You look great. So what was your inspiration behind your research?
I have to say, 1, my mentor, Dr. Corrigan, has been really instrumental in this because I was very reluctant to take the class on this in the first place. And I was like, you might enjoy it. And I was like, yeah, but I might take another one. And then I took it and ended up loving it.
Look, I mean, you can see it written all over your face. Yeah, that's great. So, what's your future plans? What's Stephanie doing after the semester? What's going on?
Well, 1, getting ready for a real break in the first time in forever, and then headed off to a PhD program. Not close enough, but I will fly to come see you in Pennsylvania.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We good? Once again, let's give a round of applause to Stephanie Alfonso, everybody. Really great job. Oh, love the outfit. Love the outfit. All right, you guys ready? Grad. See, you guys are slipping on me. Ready? Grad. There we go. So far, three competitors already done. Judges, I know you guys got a tough decision, but keep working it because we're going to give you some more. We're going to make you guys work tonight. Earn that. So you guys ready for your next competitor? Make some noise. Make some noise. Let me hear it. Our next competitor coming to the stage, Sai Chandrahas. Chandu, everybody. Give him a round of applause. Information system and technology, and his topic is what's in your wardrobe, AI data and the future of fashion. Sai, take it away.
Have you ever noticed how quickly we consume the things these days? From food to technology, and especially clothing, we buy more, use less, and discard them faster than ever. Fast fashion brands produce billions of garments each year, and most of these items end up in landfills after just few uses. In fact, fast fashion alone generates 10% of global carbon emissions and 20% of wastewater pollution. This got me thinking, can we use data, technology, and responsible business practices to stop this cycle or to break this cycle of fast fashion and throwaway culture? I'm investigating a combined approach that helps fashion companies become truly sustainable from the inside out. You guys might have heard of enterprise architecture. It's like an internal blueprint of a company guiding how they operate, plan, and make decisions. My goal is firstly to integrate sustainability and circular economy principles directly into this enterprise architecture so that the sustainability becomes part of the company's core structure instead of being a separate initiative. And using technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain, and business analytics in the workday process of a company so that they could be able to track the sustainability performance and can openly share that information with consumers. This means we as consumers or customers could be able to know where our clothes come from and how they are made. Right now, I'm looking for a company, like a fashion company, to pilot this framework by using t-shirts, as t-shirts are the most commonly purchased clothing item worldwide. The goal is to see that we could be able to meet the 3 Ps: planet, people, and profit, by blending this technology and the responsible business practices. Even though I'm in my early stages, the results are promising. By following this approach, we could be able to reduce waste, cut down on the use of natural resources, and can enhance transparency. So by this way, the fast fashion brands can be a part of the problem, can solve this solution, and can be better. And we all can enjoy fashion, but it should be in a way that ethical, responsible, and sustainable. And whenever you are going for a shopping or just looking at your wardrobe, ask yourself, do I really need this? Because a small question today can spark big changes tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, let's give him a round of applause. Come on over, come on over. Chandu, what's up, my brother? This is actually a good colleague of mine that we've done some work together. So really great to see you here. Great, fantastic job tonight. So what was the inspiration for your research?
Childhood, I have been listening these terms called as sustainability and the recycling. What these terms, so how can we be able to contribute to it? And especially my master's program is going to be helpful for me. It's like blending both technology and business. And for this, especially for this research, I want to thank my professor, my mentor, Dr. Franklin, who has been I was very much confused about how do I be able to pick up my project and how do I navigate this. He has given me the first steps to navigate, and also to the librarians like Sanjeet and everyone who has been helpful for the picking up the right articles, finding the exact the previous work. So hope I will do my best.
Yeah, you did great tonight. So how much time did you spend at the library?
Yeah, see hours, but I have eaten up the brains of researchers.
Yeah.
The librarians, they have really supported me, and a lot of time, it's like both I have slept, I have eaten.
Got to get some sleep in there once you can, right? Nice and quiet in there, but you definitely doing some work, right?
First, when I open an article, I would.
You didn't hear that, Professor. You didn't hear none of that. No, he was excited the whole time. Excited. So give it up one more time to our good friend Chandu and his amazing research. Thank you for being here. All right. You guys ready for another one? You guys ready? All right. When I say grad, you say slam. Grad. Grad. There we go. All right. Here we go. Our next presenter. This is another great research project. Please welcome Xochitl Baca, everybody. Let her hear it. Instructional design and technology. And the topic is unlocking minds, bridging incarceration and innovation through STEM Nation. Xochitl, take it away.
Hello, everyone. Picture this. You have access to a science book, yet you're not able to perform any science experiments. Now picture this. Virtual wet lab. You're able to mix chemicals. You're able to examine cells. You're able to do all this through VR. Over 2 million people in this country are incarcerated, yet 70% lack access to modern day innovative technology. Where does this put us? This puts us at a disadvantage, not only for people that are currently incarcerated, but for our community at large. My research involved speaking with people in their most delicate, sensitive place. I've spoke to people who are currently incarcerated, and people who have since been released. I've interviewed people here at Cal State San Bernardino, and I've interviewed people up and down California that are involved with Project Rebound and Underground Scholars. I've also actually had the opportunity to volunteer and teach an intro to college class to students that were young adults that were currently incarcerated. So this is where I gathered a lot of my information and saw the need for this. STEM Nation. STEM Nation is something that I've created to help alleviate what we're working with. STEM Nation isn't just a name, it's a movement to include people who have been forgotten, who are impacted by our justice system, and now need to reintegrate. STEM careers are the fastest growing. And surprisingly, when people are released, some do have a background, they need to find jobs where they can support themselves to avoid recidivism. And finding employment lessens recidivism by 40%. So having people that are properly trained in STEM field can impact their future. What is some of our fastest growing fields? In software development, engineering, AI, so many more. Now, if people were better equipped and prepared, then they're able to step in these fields. Surprisingly, these professions do not have a rigid requirement for background checks. So it could set them up for great future. So my question to you today isn't, why are we not doing this? It is, when are we going to begin this? Thank you.
Keep it going for Sochi. Sochi, join us right here, right here. Oh, somebody's phone is over here. All right. It's mine now, Chandu. Forget it, dude. So what was the inspiration behind your research? What led you to that?
Well, growing up in a community where there was a lot of police activity and finding that a lot of people were being incarcerated for various reasons, I just saw that there was a need to supplement education to encourage it beyond the bars, essentially.
Yeah.
And so my inspiration was definitely to help people.
Yeah, you mentioned Project Rebound. Does anybody here, do you guys know about Project Rebound, what they do here? So it's an amazing program that works with a lot of students that were formerly in the penal code system. And they're out here doing some amazing things, and they got that support system just like every other department. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because there's a lot of students here that have no idea that we have programs like that. So, you know, what would you like to share about Project Rebound to the rest of the audience that maybe doesn't know about Project Rebound?
Well, Project Rebound assists students anywhere from referrals for social services to getting classes that you may need. And it's a great transition from students who have been system impacted or currently incarcerated, and a bridge to get them to continue higher education. We have over 100 program participants at Cal State San Bernardino.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So thank you for sharing.
Successful
participant. Yes, absolutely. Let's give Xochitl Bach another round of applause, everybody. Thank you. Great job tonight. Are you guys ready for your next competitor? Now, let's go. Wake up. When I say grad, you say slam. Grad. Grad. Here we go. Our next presenter is Pablo Gutierrez Cervantes. Everybody, let him hear it. Give him a round of applause. He's in our educational leadership doctoral program, and he's going to focus on culture shock among international students in U.S. higher education. Pablo, take it away.
Imagine leaving everything familiar, your home, your culture, your language, to move to a completely new country and study. Exciting, right? But what if instead of adventure, you encounter yourself struggling to understand conversations, feeling like an outsider, and questioning if you truly belong? This is culture shock, and it's something I know all too well. When I first moved to the US, I was filled with hope, but also fear. I had spent my entire life in Mexico City, surrounded by my family, friends, a partner, and a culture that felt like home. Suddenly, I was in a place where even the most common things felt like climbing a mountain. Even though I knew God was with me, the loneliness was overwhelming. But I know I'm not the only one. Every year, thousands of international students immigrate to this country to pursue these studies. So my culture shock isn't just about missing home. It deeply impacts academic performance, social integration, and mental health for international students. The studies by Harvard have shown that international students experience high rates of anxiety, loneliness, and depression. But even some universities have not implemented the appropriate support system for these students to excel. Using social support theories as a framework and qualitative research for my research, I plan to uncover challenges international students experience and the patterns that these challenges confront in their education. Culture shock is a significant challenge for international students, impacting their academic performance, social integration, and mental health. With better support systems, we can support these students to succeed and make them not only to survive, but thrive. Thank you.
Once again, give it up to Pablo, everybody. Let him hear it. I'm going to sell it back to you, right? Pablo, great job. So you're in your, what year are you in your program?
I'm in my second year of my EDD program here at Cal State San Bernardino.
Awesome. Pretty soon you're going to be Dr. Cervantes. That's pretty awesome. So what was the inspiration behind your research?
Well, I immigrated to this country around 8 years ago, and I started from zero, like unpacking boxes at Ross and working at retail. So I decided to keep growing, and I researched some universities to apply for, and I got accepted to UCR and Cal State San Bernardino. So I decided to pursue my studies here. So I went through all the emotional roller coaster of actually immigrating to a different country, to a different culture, to experience new systems, health systems, school systems, and I had to adapt to it. And I mean, I didn't have like much family support because I immigrated by myself. So for me was, this research is an inspiration based on my own experience, what I had to overcome to be here. So I think Cal State San Bernardino had done a great job in my education, because in here I was able to get so many opportunities. Like I think this institution offers a lot of opportunities in terms of scholarships, conferences, study abroad programs that enrich my academic life. So when I graduated here with my MBA, I decided to work for tech. So I worked for Oracle. And then eventually I discovered my real passion, which was working with students. So I came back to work here at Cal State San Bernardino. And I decided to pursue my education further, getting into my EDD program.
What a journey. Let's give him a round of applause. That's awesome. I want to ask you just this one simple question. So what would Pablo, when first got here, say to you right now?
I would say, what would I say to myself?
Yeah, what would you say to,
I said,
back then to where you're at now?
I would say that, Pablo, you have done great. I'm proud of you and your faith in God, and your strength has brought you where you are, and keep moving forward and be grateful for everything you have.
Absolutely. Let's give Pablo a round of applause. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. Great research, and to the continued success.
Thank you.
Once again, round of applause for Pablo, everybody. Let him hear it. Man, Judge is telling you, getting tougher, getting tougher. You guys ready for your next one? You guys ready? All right, let's keep it going. Our next competitor is Federico Sanchez, everybody. Let him hear it. Let him hear it. He's an instructional design and technology using VR tech to create graffiti art. Go ahead, take it, Federico.
I was born from the love songs of the East Side Story albums. My mother, Chicana, my father, Chicano, showed me the aesthetics of my culture. giving me my first green lowrider bike, showing me how to lean back, showing me how to iron my clothes and crease them a certain way, giving me my first calligraphy book, and showing me how to do Old English writing. So this is where I found my passion in this culture. This is my graffiti art, and it's not just my identity, it's a symbol and cultural knowledge that I grew up in Southern California, and I kicked it with the Southern Raza, and I understand the struggle of being discriminated. And I grew up in Northern California, and I understand the struggle of the Raza up there, working the fields and being discriminated also too. And also, because I'm proud of my rave culture, because I like to dance, I call this electric cholo funk. Why do I bring this up today? Because this is innovative VR technology, and the school needs to adapt to this new innovation and to diversify the arts. So I was inspired by my DI training in my military service and my academic studies at Cal State San Bernardino. And how do I plan to do this? I plan to use Slack app, a communication app, to share, critique, and upload their work. And then they'll have syllabus and goals for the class. And then I'll use AI to translate it into other languages for the international students. And then they'll conduct this in a virtual reality environment, simultaneously working together to make graffiti art. And I'll do a checklist for basic design principles, emotion, and any other conceptual thought, and anything else beyond that nature. So as a result, they'll be able to work on can control without the fumes, without the legal ramification. And this will transition to all drawing mediums. And then they'll be able to work on full range of motion, which we can start training mural activists to go out there into the real world. And then last but not least, I can unite all the barrios from around the world, not just based on their skin color or where they're from, but we can unite their cultural aesthetics and the art that they bring together and create a unique graffiti. Therefore, the East Side romance is not dead. I did this for you, Mom. Thank you.
Awesome. Look, don't leave, Dale. Don't leave yet. Come on, Federico. Come on. Let's give a round of applause, everybody. Let him hear it. Dude, great job.
Thank you, sir.
And also thank you for your service. So real quick, are there any other service members in the house? If you serve your country, I want you to stand up right now. That includes you and me. Anybody else? Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for your service. So you said this is your piece of art right here. What inspired this right here?
Just like the Raza, the overcoming our struggle and coping with reality of not having job opportunities and getting discriminated in school and getting expelled from school because of my culture, and never being involved in gangs, but being affiliated with the children around my neighborhood. You know, that's why I do it. And I do it for my mom. She died when I was young. And that's who I do it for. She's my passion.
She's a big sense of part of your inspiration behind.
Yeah, she showed me how to love.
Absolutely, that is awesome. How did your military service, how did that transition into being a student here, being in a master's program? How did that help you?
Well, with the DI training, it showed me a lot, especially sharp programs, that's about not to do sexual harassment, taught me how to treat everybody with respect, and that English is not the only language. You know, everybody comes from different backgrounds, and we all got to work together at the end of the day.
Yeah, teamwork, right?
Right, teamwork.
Teamwork. So what's going to be next for you after your program? Where do you see yourself in the next 5-10 years?
Well, I hope my graffiti residency blows up one day and I can teach graffiti art, but hopefully somebody recruits me and I can work for the educational system.
You not hopefully when they recruit you.
Oh yeah, when they recruit.
Right?
Yeah, yes sir.
Because that piece of work is that not amazing up there? That look, it's beautiful, man.
Thank you.
So with that being said, Federico, thank you for sharing your research with us.
Yeah.
And let's give him a round of applause one more time. Federico. All right, we're going to keep this show going. We got our next competitor coming up. Give it up for Luis Gonzalez, everybody. Let him hear it. Psychological sciences, and his topic will be changes in circadian rhythms. It's a tough one. And 24H, right? Activity pattern after exposure in. I'm going to let him explain it. Go ahead. Take it away, Luis.
Testing. All right. I want everyone to imagine that you're a parent and your 15-year-old adolescent has been struggling with anxiety and depression. After countless months, the doctor prescribes Prozac, a common antidepressant. Given the fact you probably are hesitant about giving this drug to your children and your adolescents, will it disrupt their sleep? Will it affect their ability to focus in school? These are questions countless families face daily, given the fact that antidepressant prescription rates have skyrocketed since COVID-19. As of now, 1 in 10 individuals over the age of 12 consume antidepressant, yet shockingly, to a surprise, 50 to 90% of all antidepressants have been tested or approved for adults only. As a researcher, I'm very concerned about this because of the lack of understanding of such medication in the adolescent developmental brain. So given the fact, in order for us to understand this critical gap, our research investigated how Prozac affected circadian rhythms and activity levels in adolescent rats. So given this preclinical trial, we conducted a controlled study using male and female adolescent rats in which we monitored their activity levels and circadian measures using a novel approach, a non-invasive Fitbit jacket. This cost-effective actigraphy method has been validated across all research, giving us the opportunity to measure and quantify circadian rhythms objectively over time. As a result, we found the correct implications of such results that has direct translational value to human adolescents. We found that Prozac decreased activity levels during day and night. Oftentimes, this often is translated to human translational value as daytime drowsiness, often reported in human patients. And oftentimes, this often will affect the school performance and daily functioning of an adolescent. But despite having a stable sleep quality, we did find circadian measures disrupted, which brings a concern, given the fact that in humans, circadian misalignment has been shown to correlate with mental mood instability and cognitive impairment. So these highlights, even though this study has been conducted in rats, it has direct translational value to human adolescents. Adolescence is a critical window of period of growth. Disrupting circadian rhythms will be very severe and impacting their overall growth as they mature up. Our results highlight the need for more adolescent-focused preclinical trials, as most are done in adults. Given the fact that this is an important scenario, we need pediatric psychiatrists to reconsider dosing strategies, monitor sleep patterns, and implement circadian stabilizing intervention, such as sleep hygiene protocols. Now imagine being that same parents, but now you have greater confidence in your child's treatment plan. Our research throughout will have heavily implications in order for families and healthcare professionals to make more informed decisions. Our research will influence the next generations to come for the doors to open for more improved mental health care. Thank you.
All right, everybody, let's hear it for Luis Gonzalez. Everybody, come take a seat.
Yeah.
Fantastic job, especially saying all those words with extra syllables.
Yes. Yeah.
I was in the army. I drove a tank. I don't say stuff like that. My spelling isn't that great.
Yeah. Right.
I spell army wrong once in a while, so don't mind
Yeah.
me. So what was the inspiration?
So
your
given the
research?
fact, so I work with Dr. Leslie Medeo. So our lab focuses a lot of developmental psychopharmacology. But given the fact that this is a very important question, I think I could speak for all the families out there in the whole world in general, because given the fact that often times right now we're in a crisis, though often we don't see, and I believe it's a second pandemic, which is depression and anxiety, and just given the fact that the American Academy of Pediatrics and the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, they recently declared a national emergency of such magnitude. So this is really serious stuff. This is stuff that we really have to research. And just like by explaining what I just mentioned, we just don't fully understand what it does to an adolescent. And that really is concerning because we're adults and we don't have the same brain as an adolescent as their development. And I could relate, maybe I can't relate as I'm not a parent, but I know a lot of parents out there that have children suffering from depression and anxiety. And so just given this motivation of our research, really, this is really something that I take personal in order for us to really do something about it, right? And even though this is something that we do here on campus, and that's why I like this campus, because we're doing a lot of wonderful work that really will impact everyone. And obviously, we work with other research in general. We do a lot of projects, but this is just one of my many projects that I have been working on. But this is barely my first year in my master's program, and so this is just a very good theme in general. But also as well, I think sleep in general has been a really interest of mine, because oftentimes we don't realize that sleep has a very big impact in the overall health of everyone. And I could relate, because as grad students, we don't get enough sleep, unfortunately.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
We don't, and it's important, but that's generally how the motivation towards everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so psychological sciences, just so you know, has a track record here at the Grad Slam for winning these competitions. You definitely put your stamp on it.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing, that it is important. And, it's definitely one of those things that we need to focus more on getting more sleep. And just real quick, what do you recommend for us grad students that don't get enough sleep?
So, yeah, it's really hard for us. I understand that we try as best as possible, but in general, from what I know in general, I think it's generally, I think it's just recommendable. Generally, in research that I read and consistently, I think it's very. This is just as we diet, and you know how we all have macros, right? And we all need our protein, our carbs, and fat. These are all essential, but essentially there is actually 4 macros for sleep. So we really need to show that we have to have good quantity of sleep, quality, and then we have to be regular with our sleep and the timing of it.
Yeah.
We have to be consistent, waking up at the same time, going to bed at the same time, even though these sound like simple things, but these are just stuff that we could just change in our behavior. And so even just regularity is enough, because oftentimes research has been implemented, and there has been a lot of research as of now. Regularity generally has been correlated with symptom severity. So really, if we enhance our regularity, so once again, if you go to bed at 11 and you wake up at 6 and you stick to the same schedule, the risk of mortality will decrease, and you would generally have a less risk of getting such a mood disorder such as depression and anxiety. So yeah, I mean, there's more to it, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, now I know who to go to, so I'm going to play my master's program. So everybody, give a round of applause to Luis Gonzalez, everybody. Great topic. Are you guys ready for your next competitor? Make some noise. Let me hear it. We need some energy. We only got 2 more left, okay? Next one, coming to stage. Put your hands together for Juan Salcedo, everybody. Let him hear it.
Testing.
He is in applied archaeology, and he's going to talk about symbolism and Tenochtitlan figurines.
The Antiquities Act of 1906 was the first cultural resource legislation of its kind in this nation. It has been well over 100 years. It is close to 120 years. Since then, many ethical and professional standards have been established due to more legislations coming of it and of the groundwork that it created. Orphan collections are collections of artifacts and other individual pieces that have lost context and provenience. It is important information and data that has been lost due to negligence and at its time, lack of standards and ethical practices. Housed and in the legal possession of the anthropology department and CSUSB, we currently have an orphan collection known as the Vester collection. It was a collection that has many pieces around Mexico, especially the Central Valley and especially Teotihuacan. But sadly, we're unable to fully identify where they're from, the sourcing, or how they were recovered, whether it was technical recovering of data and how they were recovered as well. My thesis aims to tackle this challenge and help bring back ethical standards to orphan collections with the ultimate aim of repatriation back to its original communities. Using my methods, I will use a 2-pronged approach, utilizing portable X-ray fluorescence analysis, which is a chemical and soil composite analysis that will help with the sourcing as well as the material dating. With the material dating, we'll be using typology, which will be the second approach of the 2-pronged approach. Typology is going to be the stylistic interpretations of each of the artifacts. As we know, Teotihuacan was a cultural complex of its time, housing multiple groups of different cultures from all over Mesoamerica, Mexico, South America, and even groups in California. That being said, because of all of these different groups, we were able to use typology, identify the standard practices and cultural craftsmen and their practices. Using these two-pronged approaches, we're able to use relative dating to find where they're from, which groups they're from, and using composite soil, we're able to identify the soil composite of this. Utilizing these method approach, we aim to utilize this method not only for a vector collection, but for the rest of orphan collections for the purpose of repatriating them back to the original communities. Thank you.
Fantastic job. Come on, join me right here.
Thank you so much.
Great job, great job.
you.
So archaeology, what got you into archaeology?
Yes. So for archaeology, for me, what got me into it was actually bioarchaeology. So a subplan of archaeology, going more into the biological of it and even the skeletal remains. So
Interesting.
yeah. And a short answer will be Bones, which is a TV show about forensic anthropology.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other Bones fans in here? Yeah, I got a few. Yeah.
But we're in research, we have to say, you know.
Yeah, right. So what inspired your research, what your thesis that you just talked about, an orphaned
Collection, yeah.
artifact?
My department, I'm in the applied archaeology department, and we have wonderful professors and department that's super helpful. As I was saying, the Vector collection is housed and in the possession of the department as well. But my mentor, Dr. Hep, and my mentor as well, Dr. Sosa, who's here, they luckily were able to help me out and kind of go through the collection. And it was really wonderful and hearing of how we got to become of it and seeing how it was collected, because a lot of these pieces were obtained, like I was saying, like very unethically, or during a time there's no standard practices.
So we here at our university, we have orphaned artifacts.
Yeah, but they're currently legal because at its time, you know.
Right.
But the whole point in the future is hopefully to repatriate them and help bring them back more ethical standards to these collections. Yeah.
That is awesome. Well, thank you for sharing your research with us. Everybody give a round of applause to Juan Salcedo, everybody. Thank you for being here. All right. We are down to our final competitor for our Grad Slam tonight. You guys have been an amazing audience. So far, let's give a round of applause to all the competitors so far. And with that being said, we're going to bring up our last competitor of the night. Last but not least, Gina Mosqueda Lucas, everybody. So also applied archaeology, reawakening Chumash cultural knowledge of seagrass and seagrass cordage from Limu?
Limu, yes.
Santa Cruz Island. Gina, take it away.
Revitalizing, reawakening, and reclaiming. These words capture and what will be achieved through the relearning of Chumash cultural knowledge about Sueca salmon, the ocean's grass. Haku, Castro Hapatina Echaksahi, Maktuka, Gina Mosqueda Lucas. Hello to you, the ancestors, and today's descendants of San Bernardino lands and Palm Desert lands. It's good you have come this evening. As a California Native American archaeologist and descendant of the San Ynez Band of Chumash Indians, I'm here to share the beginnings of deepening cultural knowledge on seagrass, a gift with the responsibility in strengthening Chumash use of this marine plant that has become my thesis project. Created by the Cureseño, my ancestors from Santa Cruz Island, the woven netting shown here was brought back to the mainland from the village of Lacayamu. Chumash ancestors have inhabited coastline regions ranging from Malibu to San Luis Obispo and our California's Northern Channel Islands. And in that time, they used seagrass to create various items essential to islanders' way of life. In fact, archaeological testing has revealed Chumash Islanders' use of seagrass and fiber technologies date to 9,000 years ago. Sections of woven mats, nets, bags, thatching, and garments have been found within coastal village sites of Channel Islands. My research project is a collaborative effort between Chumash of San Ynez, Santa Barbara, Ventura, in addition to archaeologists specializing in Limu archaeology. A community partnership in bringing our various cultural perspectives together as we move forward with this project. My research emphasizes an expectation and expanding collaborative ties through the emergence in the seagrass community, creating engagement between Chumash descendants as support with seagrass twining, braiding, and knotting processes, aiming at an outcome to increase replication of woven items from this fundamental resource and to strengthen our cultural practice in modern times. And joining the Chumash from the past to the present, descendants from elders to youth will harvest and will also analyze archaeological literature while learning from our ancestors through oral accounts, their languages, and studying their woven artifacts. Not only is it my goal for this project to revive seagrass knowledge and cordage weaving techniques, but also to understand other cultural aspects our ancestors are sharing with us in the reproduction of this old time practice. Kakinash, natiwanana chohoak chanchakuk. Thank you and travel well, my friends.
Fantastic. Come on, Gina, join me. That was fabulous.
Thank you.
So archaeology.
Archaeology, yes.
So what's the inspiration behind going into that particular program?
Well, my journey began with the revitalization of our language. And then not only with the revitalization of the language, you also revitalize the culture. And so I have to give a shout out to Tribal Chairwoman Eleanor Fishburne, who is an undergrad at Cal State Channel Islands. She has a passion for archaeology and our culture just as much as I do. And she put this project together on Santa Cruz Island. And we went out there and we collected the seagrass together. And so, you know, she's there. We're always offering prayers. And then this opportunity ended up coming up to bring this netting home so that we could study it and begin just learning more about it. And then hopefully creating items from it all over again. Yeah. Bringing it back.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's give her a round of applause. Absolutely. So what's going to be the next step for Gina?
The next step, you know, we're talking about sleep masters and all the hard work that goes into it and whatnot. I am considering a doctorate. So we'll see. There's a possibility. We'll see. But one thing at a time, one thing at a time.
One step at a time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second year master's student. And so I got to get a lot of the thesis work done.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're well on your way, and
Yes.
you gave us some really great information.
Thank you.
You know, it's not that far. You know, Chumash is really, really close by. I got family up in Santa Barbara, so I know
Okay.
very well.
Yeah.
My aunt knows the casino very well. So, but you know, you shared some amazing information with us, and you're so passionate about what you're doing, and hopefully this journey will definitely guide you to doctoral program someday.
Yeah, I can't take all the credit. Dr. Sosa, my chair of my committee's up there. Amira Anise is online, and then Dr. Teresa Velasquez, all support. It's all support, and then their guidance too. I know the cultural side, but Dr. Sosa and Dr. Anise know, you know, the archaeological side. So again, it's about collaboration. It's about working together. It's about working together, and this is what produced. This is what the outcome is.
Absolutely. Everybody, let's give Gina another round of applause. Thank you for sharing the information with us. She touched on something real quick though, and this is what, to all the faculty mentors, if you're here, if one of the competitors are here, I want you guys to stand up. If you're a student that's here, we got a couple. It looks like some of them had already left, but yes, let's give them a round of applause. Yes. The importance of what Gina mentioned was the collaboration. Like, she might not know the culture, but it's like all this other stuff. And this is what Cal State San Bernardino brings to the table. And it's you know, being able to have these two forces combined together to do something amazing. And once again, round of applause to all our competitors here tonight. Made it extremely difficult for the judges who are going to start tallying. And with that being said, I want to bring up Dr. Vickers up again one more time.
Thank you so much, Ralph, for being such an awesome MC. Give it up for Ralph. All right. So I wanted to first mention that after this, we're going to have a nacho bar. So it's going to be amazing. And I think it's upstairs. Is that right, Megan? Oh, she's over there. I think it's upstairs, right above us. So come for the nacho bar, please. So at this point, we do our people's choice. So you can scan the QR code and you can vote for the person that you thought had the best Grad Slam presentation. So I will give you a chance to do that. Sure, yeah. Everybody want to come up? Megan, the nacho bar is right above us, right? Oh, it's where? Oh, I'm sorry. The nacho bar is in the event center. You would have been very disappointed if you went upstairs. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's in the event center. All right. So are we doing pictures? Is that? Okay. All right. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna, is Megan around here? I'm gonna get one with my phone. Oh. I mean, I know I'll get these events. Yeah. Either to have an instant one for. I have to.
For the
have
gram.
The instant.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll get. Mine doesn't turn out good. Okay, step forward, guys.
All right, so we're gonna ask a couple more little questions. So this is gonna be open to anybody. So what was probably the most difficult part for you to prepare for the Grad Slam?
I'll tell you what was so hard is after 2 years of teaching oral communication, we teach extemporaneous delivery, which is not memorized, right? And so having to memorize was so difficult. I was trying to memorize but still be giving extemporaneous. So that is what was most challenging for me.
Anybody else agree? Do you guys all agree? So yeah. Yeah, it looks like you guys were natural up there. You guys look very comfortable. So did they not look great going up there doing their presentations? You guys did a phenomenal job. So who's ready for the nacho bar? You guys ready for the nacho bar? Yeah, everybody is. Everybody is. So what's your biggest? Let's start with you. What's your biggest takeaway from this the Grad Slam competition?
My biggest takeaway is how amazing my competitors are. Oh my goodness, like spectacular, all of you. Like I know, like we've been through workshops together. We've all been through information sessions together. So it's wonderful, kind of seeing how everybody how we started versus how we ended up. You know, so it's wonderful. I would say.
Gina?
Yeah, I have to just second that with Juan. It's the community. I wasn't expecting to be as supported as I have been. And so it's the community, it's strengthening relationships and then creating new ones too as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very valid point. So there's also some gift baskets that have been provided with some CSUSB swag in there. There's some pretty cool items in there. So so congratulations once again. I know the judges are over here struggling to figure out who's going to be the winners here. So what about you? What's your biggest takeaway?
Oh, yeah. Well, for myself, I think this is my first time doing it. I think it's a wonderful experience, as I mentioned with everyone. I think they do a marvelous job at competing. But I think after this, it's just a room to grow. And so this is really a very impressive learning opportunity, especially just given the moment that I shared my research. I think it really held me down to humble myself and really understand if I could communicate my science to people, which oftentimes, even in a whole field, generally, that's really heavily recommended to communicate science, which is often a difficult task because, you know, we kind of go from complex to simple, right? So it's very very hard, but I think I like the experience. Obviously, I'm still going to be around, so hopefully, this will be more practice for me. Yeah, I think that's it.
This has been a great experience. This is something really new to me and out of my comfort zone. And I just wanted to thank everybody who has helped me with the little details to help me improve myself. And it was great to be part of the collaborative effort.
Well, my biggest takeaway from this is that not everything is perfect, and we all learn about ourselves. And this is a growing opportunity for me to improve myself for future experiences. So thank you.
My biggest takeaway is I teach this class. Okay. I know I've said that already, but I also work for the speaking center, and I'm always like telling students, like, you can do it. Like, it's totally fine. Like, play music in the background. And if you can push through, like, practicing with music in the background, you can do it when you're up here. Until I had to do those things. And now I'm like, oh my God, this is actually really scary. And so I think it, like, for someone who I feel like I'm shy, but at the same time, I'm not. It's very humbling, and I'm so happy to be up here and to like practice these things that I teach.
Yeah.
My biggest takeaway is that I am significantly happier having something in my hand than not having anything in my hands and have to figure out what to do with them. So I was given a basket and I'm in a much better place. Aside from that, I really enjoyed being able to watch everybody's speeches develop through all of the workshops that Dr. Vickers and Megan hosted, and being able to be up here with my cohort peers as well has been super awesome.
I think my biggest takeaway with everything is, there's such a focus on revitalizing our community, especially in the IE. And I just want to say, very similar to Juan, all you beautiful, brilliant people are doing that. And so you make me proud. Well done.
My biggest takeaway from this was the community on stage. Though I've met for the first time many people here, just knowing all the disciplines and all the passion and what people want to do. And like, no two presentations are the same. So it's just, the takeaway is just the uniqueness of everybody and what they had to present. So that was it.
This is my first takeaway. Jokes apart, it's like the amount of time or the patience to develop this thesis. We are good at what we do. We are really good at our research, but to convey it to the general audience, it's a really big task, and to work on it multiple times, refining our speeches so that the audience could be able to understand it. It's the presentation, how simple the manner you're presenting it to the audience is the biggest challenge, and it's going to be the biggest takeaway.
So with that being said, Dr. Vickers.
I have the winners. I'll bet you want to know. Okay, so I'm going to start with the People's Choice Award. So the People's Choice Award goes to Michelle Aguiar. All right, Michelle. Okay, and then I'm going to go to third place. So that is Stephanie Alfonso. All right, Stephanie. And second place, Michelle Aguiar. And drum roll, first place, Gina Mosqueda Lucas. So it was really close, everybody. The scores were very close. Everybody did an amazing job. I'm so impressed. I'm always so impressed. So let's just give a round of applause for these students. I have to tell you a secret. When I was in graduate school, if I had had to do this, I would have fainted. So, so I'm super impressed. And, you know, not only is your research important and impactful, but you communicate it so well. And I think it's so important, especially now, for the public to understand the important research that we do in higher education. And so the ability to communicate what you do to the general public is so important. So I hope that'll stay with you. And I know that now that you've done this once, you'll be good at it the next time you do it too. All right, good job. So let's go get nachos in the event center.
Want to get pictures with the winner? The winners over here. Stephanie, do you want to just put your? Absolutely. And let's get our judges up here. Real quick, before everybody leaves, let's give a round of applause to our judges who had a really tough decision to make today. All three of you, thank you. So let's come on up here. We want to get some pictures with our judges. And we're going to have our competition winners up here real quick. Dina, congratulations. Thank you. Oh, you did such an amazing job. All right. Amen. All right. And then let's get one with the judges. Let's get the judges in there if we can have you guys join. Dr. Vickers, Megan. You got to get in there. You got to get in there.